So today I thought I probably should get around to filming one of the most highly requested videos since I had my surgery back in December, and a little disclaimer, I have just filmed the entire thing and deleted the clips. So this is the second time that I'm filming this. I was really happy with the first one, but I'm going to hopefully do it justice and remember everything I've said and make it just as good a video as it would have been the first time round. For those of you that don't know or are new to my channel, I had weight loss surgery in December 2016, so we're almost at a year since I had the surgery, and a lot of you have asked for this, and it's something that I've been promising for a while, and I don't know why I never got round to it. I could sit here and make excuses, but I'm not going to. I just have never filmed it. So I thought today it was about time I showed you what I eat in a day, in a typical day. The way this video is going to take shape, I'm going to sit here and just talk to you about some generic things, some little tips and tricks, and about what I eat in general. And then I have filmed some clips in more of kind of like a vloggy type style, where I show you what food I've had, how much is on my plate. I hope you find this useful. I'm going to be doing a Q&A very soon on gastric sleeve, so if you have any questions whatsoever, leave them me in the comments. I have some already, but leave me in the comments and I will pop them in that video and answer them for you. I'm going to try, unless I get a million questions, which I highly doubt, I'm going to try and answer every single one and not just choose a few that I want to answer. So obviously if they're ones I feel comfortable answering, which I'm sure that you will all ask lovely questions. So yes, I'll start off by just saying that I eat 3 meals a day usually. I do have days where I graze. If I forget to eat and I'm particularly busy, then I will just kind of pick at food throughout the day, but just let me know if that's something that you want to see, because that's another version of the video that I could do. I thought today that I would just do one day, film my meals in one day, but if this is something that goes down quite well, then I'll do another one if you want to see maybe what I eat over a few days, or any ideas or anything like that you've got. If you enjoy this, then I'll do more, because obviously I don't just eat the same things on a regular basis. I normally have 3 meals. So in the morning for my breakfast, I will have Weetabix more often than not. So I have 1 Weetabix, I top it up with milk, and then I pop it in the microwave for a couple of minutes to warm it up, and that also makes it into like a liquid consistency, which isn't a necessity for me now. I'm back on solids. I've been on solid food since I think March, maybe February time. It's just, that's how I like to have my Weetabix basically. I don't like to eat it cold, and I can eat quite a lot of that because it is a liquid consistency. Whereas if I have bran flakes, which is something else that I sometimes have for breakfast, I can't eat as much of that because they're obviously more stodgy, and it's just common sense really that it, you know, it's like if I have soup for my lunch, I can eat more soup than I could if I was having a sandwich. And then if I've got up particularly early that day, I might have a mid-morning snack, and that's usually half a banana or a small banana, or I have a few mandarins, which I just get the tinge, you know, where they're in like their own juices, because that helps with my fibre, which is really important for me to get in my fibre and my protein, and then obviously all the goodness from my vegetables. I do take vitamins daily, so they kind of like cover that part of my diet if I'm not getting them from my food, which I do try to. Lunchtime on this day, I had a jacket potato with tuna mayonnaise and beans, and I know that might sound very strange to some of you, but if you've not tried it and you like tuna and you like beans, give it a whirl, because my mother-in-law introduced it to me a few years ago, and when she put it in front of me, I just thought, you are crackers. I mean, she is a little bit crackers, but I was just like, why have you put tuna with beans? But it's amazing, and obviously it's really good for me because beans are a really good source of fibre, so I try to get in some form of bean every day, whether it's baked bean or a kidney bean or a black bean. I do try and get them in where I can if I have like a chili or something like that. With jacket potatoes, I can normally manage about half of the potato. I don't tend to eat the skin, I just stick to the potato, and then you'll see the portion size as I'm showing you what I've filmed already. But if I can feel that I'm getting a little bit full, I will make sure that I eat the tuna and the beans before I finish the potato, because obviously they have more goodness in them than the potato. And I try to just have one form of carbohydrate a day, so whether that's like a main carbohydrate, so whether I have a slice of toast in the morning or a potato at lunch or at tea time, I just tend to just have one, and some days I don't have any. And then either mid-afternoon or after my dinner or evening meal or tea, wherever you're from, whatever you say, I will have some chocolate because I was a chocolate fiend before surgery, and I think I would just kind of make myself go a little bit crazy if I didn't have a little bit and allow myself that little bit of chocolate a day. Sometimes I don't feel like it and I don't have any, but more often than not I will have a cup of tea with either a chocolate digestive biscuit or a couple of pieces of dairy milk caramel or something like that. Not a lot, I don't gorge on it, I don't rely on it, but I do, if I feel like it, I am able to eat that. And then for my evening meal or my tea or my dinner or whatever you say, my meal at the end of the day, on this day I had 2 sausages and then some veg with gravy. So I just use the veg packet because they're really, really easy and they have a good amount of veg in, and I usually can eat the majority of that. Tom might have a quarter of it or half, but I can eat quite a lot of the veg. And then for the sausages, I don't have pork sausages, I have chicken sausages, because I find, and they did warn me about this, but I didn't really eat a lot of it before surgery anyway, I kind of struggle with steaks, beef burgers, pork, kind of like the heavier, more red meat kind of stuff, rather than like chicken and fish. Again, it comes down to common sense. It's going to be a lot easier to eat fish than it is a steak. My stomach is now 85% smaller than it once was, and I have to kind of cater for that. And it's important to me to kind of make sure that I eat the right food and carry on being sensible, because obviously this was an investment that I made into my health and my future, and I want to reap the benefits and get the most out of the surgery. So, you know, some days I might have a slice of pizza, don't get me wrong, and if you want to see a day where I eat a slice of pizza, then I'll show you how much I can eat. But the majority of the time I try to eat well and I try to be careful of what I eat, because obviously that's how I'm going to get the most out of the surgery that I've had. So yeah, so I have chicken sausages, and the ones that we have are called hex sausages, which are they can be a little bit more expensive than normal sausages. I believe you can get like chicken sausages from the butchers and things like that, but we get these ones. You can get different flavours. We tend to get them when they're on offer, and they're better for me. Tom got me on them because they have, I think, like 99% chicken in them, whereas Richmond sausages have like 40% pork and then a whole load of other stuff that makes them taste nice. It might not be 40%, it might be higher than that, but just, you get my drift. They are really tasty, they're easy for me to eat, and sometimes it's just nice to be able to have like sausage and mash or sausage and veg. Normally at night time I do kind of just tend to eat the more like vegetable based foods like chicken stir fry, stuff like that. Obviously this day I had these sausages, and then I really like a good thick gravy. So I have that over the top, just take my time eating it and enjoy it, and my whole attitude to food has changed, but that I'm going to do a completely separate video on that. With regards to what I drink, obviously fluid intake, liquid intake is very important before surgery, never mind after surgery, and I really struggle. I'm not very good at it at all because I don't like drinking water. So one of my things that I really like to drink at the moment is the Robinson's peach juice from their fruit and barley range. I feel like I could be on Blue Peter because here is one that I made earlier. No, this is the concentrated obviously stuff, it's not what I've made, but this is what I use. I really like this. I either have this or the orange and pineapple one, I think it is. You can just get like the own brand stuff of that, but I do particularly like the Robinson's peach fruit and barley. It's really nice, and obviously the no added sugar stuff. I will always have a glass of that, or I'll fill up a water bottle with peach juice and just keep topping it up throughout the day when I remember to drink. If I'm running out of the house, or if I'm really thirsty and I've forgotten to drink, like I'm going to open this now, I will grab one of these out of the fridge, and they are just really easy. So these are the Capri Sun Drinks, and they're no added sugar, and I really like the tropical ones. I find they taste a lot less like sweetener than the orange or the apple and blackcurrant ones. So I just grabbed one of these, and my reason for this is I was drinking the Volvic lemon and lime no added sugar water, flavoured water, but the bottles are quite big and I really like a cold drink, and by the time I'd gotten through one of those it was warm at the end. I didn't want to drink the rest of it. These are just like the perfect size just to drink in one go. I do tend not to like have really big gulps when I drink. After surgery that was particularly important. Now it's not really, but I do notice that I can get a little bit of wind and kind of feel uncomfortable if I drink too quickly. So they're the drinks that I have on a typical day. Now you do have to watch your sugar intake, because there is a thing called dumping syndrome, that if you eat too much sugar or drink too much sugar all at once, it can kind of send the insulin through to your bowels and your intestines too quickly, and it doesn't go well. You can end up feeling quite sick, or like you really need to go to the toilet. That's only happened to me a couple of times, and to be honest, it's something that I really try not to happen again, because it's not very pleasant. But I can get away with eating a quite good amount of sugar really and feel okay. I have that little bit of chocolate a day. If I go out, I have a porn star martini or a glass of wine, or 2 or 3, and I'm fine. I do find I try and drink a little bit of fruit juice as well if I'm having trouble going to the toilet, and I have maybe like a really small glass of that and just sip it slowly, because they're kind of like the worst things. Or milkshakes. I can't drink milkshakes anymore. After a couple of sips, the same with ice cream, a couple of sips, that's it, I feel sick and I don't want any more. And sometimes I think to myself, oh, how nice it'd be to just be able to have a scoop of ice cream. Or, I mean, I can have a scoop of ice cream, but the milkshake is quite difficult. And then I remember that, no, Amy, you've lost 6 stone. It's worth it. Power through. Move on. Have a peach juice. Okay, so a few tips. So I obviously eat slower, but not as slow as I did just after surgery. After surgery, I had to I was almost counting every time I had a mouthful. Now I just chew my food down quite a lot, so it's as small as it can be when it goes down, and then I leave maybe 20 seconds between each mouthful, and that seems to be okay. I just really take my time. It's just common sense really. One thing that I always remember my surgeon and my nutritionist saying to me after surgery was to stop eating when I feel full. And if I can give you one piece of advice, if you're thinking about having the surgery or you have it yourself, that is the best piece of advice, because you can feel it. Before surgery, I didn't really know what it meant to feel full. Even if I started feeling like, oh, I shouldn't really eat anymore, if I was enjoying my meal, I would, and I would overeat, and that obviously is an issue. Now with gastric sleeve surgery, you can't really get away with that, and you start to get kind of like a dull ache if you do eat too much, and then afterwards you can start to burp and just feel really uncomfortable. Now it doesn't last very long, so if you do overeat, and especially at the start when you're still getting used to how much you can eat and stuff, it isn't painful, it's just uncomfortable for a little while. But obviously, because you want to monitor your food intake, you don't want to be eating too much, because you don't want to risk stretching your stomach, which I think is very highly unlikely, but still it's something to think about. I always stop eating when I start to feel full. The last thing really, which is quite a common question that I get asked, is do I feel hungry, or do I ever get hungry? And honestly, no. Now there will be days where I can kind of forget to eat because I don't feel hungry, so I'll have my breakfast and then I'll just be busy until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and think to myself, I can feel myself dipping a little bit, and that's really my telltale sign when I need to eat something. So it's not really a hunger pain. With gastric sleeve surgery, they take out the main hormone that is associated to like telling your brain that you're hungry. So I don't really feel hungry ever. The only thing is that I start to get a little bit tired and weary or grumpy, and I think to myself, okay, go to the fridge, have some chicken or something, because you need to eat your lunch. So that's basically a general overview of what I eat in a day, and just a few kind of like pointers and a little bit of information for you all. Obviously, if you have any questions, let me know. I will answer them all in my Q&A video. If there's anything else, if you want to see me do more what I eat in a days, any ideas or tips or anything you want to know, then let me know in the comments, and I'll do that for you. I'm sorry it's taken me so long, and I'm going to do a whole general update overview of how much I've lost and stuff. I missed the 9-month mark, which I was a bit annoyed at myself for, but I will be doing one a year after surgery, and that is in December, so it's not really that far off. So I've got a few videos planned until then that covers kind of like weight loss surgery and stuff like that, so hopefully that will be okay to tide you over until December when I do my 1 year update. I can't believe that it's nearly been a year. It's been quite a year. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all tomorrow with my next video. I hope you're all really enjoying Vlogtober. From some of the comments I gather that you really are. And I started to thought, can I keep this up again? Can I do Vlogtober again? Because I've done it a couple of years. But I've managed it. I'll see you very soon. Bye.